Hey guys, welcome back to Cinecom.net and our weekly series Copycat Friday, in which we try to recreate visual effects from famous movies and music videos. And it's that time of the year again, Halloween, so we are going to recreate 3 different horror effects from famous movies and series. So without further ado, let's get spooky.
Well, hello. Do you want to hear a scary story on how we built a set?
You can do it. I'm a great chef. Right here. Come on. Toppy. Lorenzo. Skateboarding planned. Do a kickflip. You added a kickflip now, Timo? For the television, guys, we're using the Rhodolite Titan X1, which comes with a bunch of built-in effects, and one of those effects is a TV simulator. So it's just going to shine the TV light onto the talent, and that way it seems like he's watching television, but in reality it's just a light. Now if you don't have one of these lights with built-in preset effects, you can also just use a normal light and just kind of like dim the intensity of the light and just kind of make it like flicker a little bit or change it manually, and that way you also get that same television look. Or of course you can also use a real television and just use that light, but usually it's not enough light unless you're shooting in a really dark scene.
The first effect is inspired by this super creepy floating effect from The Haunting of Hill House. You can see this woman hanging above a couch where a child is sleeping. Immensely scary and well done. Of course, we are going to do this practical. First, we built a huge contraption where our talent could lay on and eventually come into the screen. And it worked perfectly.
If it looks stupid and it works, it ain't stupid.
But we found out that we were limited in our movements and positioning of our creepy Lorenzo. So we went back to the drawing board and found a new idea. We are going to use Justine, our mannequin. Now I know that not everybody has a Justine for their own, but you can buy one really cheap or even get it for free. Clothing shops often throw away their old mannequins, so you can always keep an eye out for that. Of course, you can use whatever you have laying around as long as it looks like a human. But what did we do in our new idea was hanging Justine from our ceiling with a rope, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now for the whole scary effect. Of course, we need to remove the wires from the hanging lady, but we can easily do that with an empty shot and a mask in Premiere Pro. Or we can use the wire removal tool in After Effects. Just drag it to your shot and place your start and end points on the right spot. Now to make the effect creepy, we played around with the editing. First we started with a very long intense dolly movement towards our sleeping actor. With sound effects and the eerie length of the shot, you are building a mood. And poof! Surprise, we cut to a long shot where the lady is hanging above our talent. We call this a jump scare. Emphasize this with sound and bada bim bada boom, you have yourself a cool scary effect.
Now while Janik and Lorenzo are currently finishing up our little horror scene, I'm actually working on the sound design. And what's really great about horror films is that you don't really need music to create the right atmosphere. The whole sound effects can actually carry your whole film. And today's sponsor, Storyblocks, is really helping us with that process. Not only do they have a video library, but also an audio library where you can find tens of thousands of sound effects and music. This is our go-to place whenever we need something with sounds. We can find ghost sounds,
sounds, metallic swooshes, cracking bones, anything in that library. And just like with Storyblocks video, also there's just one single price per year, which allows you to download unlimited music and sound effects. Now we actually have the combined package, which gives us access to their 3 libraries. Yes, they also have an image library, and that is the best deal that you can get. Because Storyblocks video is something that we almost use on a daily basis. Definitely our editor Timo, who makes these copycat episodes, uses these assets on a daily basis. You can find overlay effects, you can find fun 2D animations, there are green screen clips, and so many more video assets to make your edit more interesting. Or maybe you're missing a certain shot or you don't have the time for it, well then check out their high quality 4K stock clips. And you can literally find every genre, and definitely right now with Halloween, there's some really cool stuff that can be found. Or maybe you're looking for an animated background that you can use on social media to promote something for your business. Well, now is the time with Halloween, so go get yourself a Storyblocks subscription. You can click the first link in the description down below to learn all about it. And now, let's get back to Jenning and Lorenzo.
Nope. Back to Jody.
Good horror films is not about the visual effects or the amount of blood you're using. It's actually more about the camera, the editing, and the lighting. And I want to talk about lighting real quick. Keep these 3 things in mind when setting up lights for a horror film and you'll have a great horror look. First of all is ugly lighting. We have a green backlight, as you can see right here. It's an ugly color, this green fluorescent lighting that isn't looking pleasant, and that is the exact thing that we want. Next up is flat lighting. That's also considered ugly or bad lighting. We have a television in front of us, and that is casting light straight onto us, making ourselves flat. And that is exactly what we want. And last but not least, shadows, and that is going to be your #1 thing when creating horror films. We are mimicking the light that is coming through a window, and for that we're using actually a cucullures, which is just a fancy word for a cardboard with a cutout shape in it. We have these lines cut out, or blinds, which are creating these lines of shadow over the scenery and the talent. And also in the background we have this fake window, which is also again a cardboard, and we're casting blue light through that so that we have the shadow of that window, and again there are those shadows which make it more horror.
Our next horror effect is inspired by the Conjuring one, and the cool scene where a big piece of cloth blows away and reveals a ghost standing in the scene, which disappears right after. This is a great way to reveal a ghostly presence. Now, what do we need for this? Well, a big piece of cloth and 2 shots. The first shot is going to be our empty shot, and the second shot is going to be with our talents. We let one talent sit or stand on the spot we want our ghost to be, and one talent can do the acting. For our scene, the acting talent will throw the cloth onto a chair, revealing the ghost. Out of fear, he then removes the cloth again, revealing nothing, an empty chair. Or that is what we want to achieve in post-production. And oh yeah, don't forget to increase your shutter speed, as we don't want too much motion blur, of course. And that's it for the shots. Now some post-production. Because we need to single out our piece of cloth, and that is going to be a lot of masking work, we of course are going to use the rotoscope tool in After Effects. So first place your empty shot in your composition, and on top of that we're going to place our talents clip. Select that talents clip and double click on it. This will open up the footage in the layer window, and here we can start rotoscoping. Take your rotoscope tool, select the cloth and a large piece of the acting talent. Then let After Effects do its thing. Of course, adjust if it's wrong, and once done you will have a cutout cloth and a piece of your talent. Of course, this isn't the wanted effect, so duplicate the talent clip, and on the bottom duplicate we are going to remove the rotoscope effect. Now we just have to make a mask around the chair where our talent is sitting, and if done correctly you will now have a ghost reveal. Of course, emphasize the reveal with a kind of sound.
The last effect is a well-known and often used to create this uneasy feeling with the audience. Of course, I'm talking about the bone-cracking, twitching effect that every little possessed girl does in most horror movies. Now this is actually quite easy to recreate, but it needs some acting. In our shot we gave Lorenzo a scary rope, a wig and a scary lighting setup, meaning a big backlight and some haze. Then we gently let him appear, and once he's in the shot, he starts twitching. But the movements he needs to do are done slowly and super controlled. This is very important. We tested multiple options and found out that fast movements don't work. So do your movements slow and controlled. Now what kind of movements do you need to do? Well, move your neck around, your shoulders, your arms. It doesn't matter. You just need to create the feeling that your bones are breaking. Now, if you're super flexible, you can really use that to your advantage and make the effect even more gross. Time for the post-production, and this effect we can create in Premiere Pro. Place your shot into the sequence, and now we're going to look for every point where our talent starts his movements and ends it. Here we are going to make cuts and create separate clips for every movement. Then it's just a matter of speed ramping the clips. We sped up our clip to the wanted speed. This can of course vary for everybody as we will all move at different speeds. Now you can do the speed adjustment two ways. First one, right click on your clip and choose the speed and duration option. Here increase the value and voila, your clip is faster. A second way is doing the speed ramp gradually. If you right click on the VFX bottom of your clip, you can choose the time remapping and then speed option. With the pen tool you can now place your points on the clip and give the points a fall off and create a gradual speed increasement. For an extra touch, you can add the posterized time effect to every movement clip and set the value to a lower frame rate. This will give you more of a stop motion feeling and will emphasize the twitching of the bones. Now last, we need to prevent that our main actor is also going to twitch like crazy. So when we are done with all the time remapping, we just need to place our original talent clip back on top of everything and roughly mask out the main actor. And done. Of course, we used some nasty cracking sound effects to really sell the effect. Fun fact, you can use vegetables to create this sound, or just use Storyblocks.
$405 and Libby. $410.
I think the coast is clear. That was scary, guys. If you like this video, definitely check out the playlist here on my left side, guys, where we have tons of more horror effects because yes, we do this every year. So I really hope that you enjoyed the video and check out that playlist. And don't forget to subscribe. There's a button for that as well. Big thanks for the support, Storyblocks, and as always, stay creative.